Welcome to Carol and Gary's See America Tour. Hello everyone. Carol, Jasper, and I are now in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. One of the biggest attractions in Milwaukee is the Harley Davidson Museum, so on Thursday, August 22nd, Carol and I ventured downtown to check it out. By the year 1900, a new invention was sweeping across America, the bicycle. This two-wheeled wonder enabled individuals to travel farther and faster than ever before. But this wasn't enough for 21-year-old William Harley and his 20-year-old friend Arthur Davidson. In 1901, these two boyhood friends embarked on a quest to take the work out of bicycling. Their dream was to build a motorized bicycle that would enable people to travel reliably and as fast as the technology at the time would allow. Realizing that to fulfill their dream they would need a skilled mechanic, the duo enlisted the help of Arthur's brother Walter Davidson, a railroad machinist whom they lured from his job in Kansas by promising him a ride on their motorcycle. After arriving in Milwaukee, Walter discovered that he would have to help William and Arthur build their motorcycle before he could ride it, but he decided to stay anyway. The eldest Davidson brother, William, then a tool room foreman at a Milwaukee railroad shop, also offered to pitch in. Working out of their first factory, a 10-foot by 15-foot wooden shed in the backyard of the Davidson home, with the Harley Davidson Motor Company painted on the door, the four men produced their first three motorcycles in 1903. William Harley was given top billing in the name because it was his idea to build a motorcycle in the first place. Although not a good picture because of the dim lighting conditions, this is the earliest Harley Davidson motorcycle known to exist. The frame can be dated to 1905, but the engine is earlier than 1905. During the 1990s, restorers found the number 1 stamped inside various components, but the engine doesn't match what is known about the first engines produced by Harley Davidson. A closer look at this motorcycle reveals many early design features. It has a leather drive belt. To start the motorcycle, riders pedal the bike until enough compression builds up in the engine, and then off they go. This is a single-cylinder engine. Harley Davidson's first few years can be summed up in 2 words: growth and development. The partners produced 3 motorcycles in 1904 and 7 more in the following year. The company was growing so fast that the Davidson backyard could no longer contain it. In 1906, Harley and the Davidson brothers built a new 28 by 80-foot factory in Milwaukee and produced 50 motorcycles. The company formally incorporated in 1907 and by 1909 had doubled the size of their factory again, hiring 35 employees and increased production to 1,000 motorcycles per year. Obsessed with improving his invention, Harley began working on a design for a 2-cylinder engine. After a false start in 1907, he perfected the model in 1909. The new engine, called a V-twin, could propel a motorcycle at a speed of 60 miles an hour. Thanks to the success of the V-twin, the company quickly developed a reputation for building reliable and unusually fast motorcycles, and by 1910, annual production rose to 3,200 machines. To build excitement and promote sales, Harley Davidson sponsored a racing team dubbed the Wrecking Crew, who became known by their seat-of-the-pants racing style. Success of the Wrecking Crew kept the company in the news and stimulated sales, but Harley Davidson realized that keeping ahead of the competition meant that they needed to reinvest much of their profits into engineering and product enhancements. Harley Davidson's next big breakthrough came in 1912 when Harley perfected a chain drive to replace the outdated leather belt drive. A few years later, in 1916, Harley came up with a step starter which eliminated the need for pedals, finally breaking the motorcycle from the parentage of the bicycle. Many people, including the U.S. government, still relied on bicycles for an inexpensive means of transportation. Always looking for other ways to market his company's product, Arthur became determined to convince government officials that motorcycles could replace bicycles at the U.S. Postal Service and many other government agencies. Arthur's strategy worked. By 1914, the United States Postal Service had more than 4,800 Harleys delivering mail. The military was also attracted to the rugged, fast bikes, and Harley sales soared. By 1920, production was over 2,800 bikes annually, and Harley Davidson became the world's largest motorcycle manufacturer, with dealerships in 67 foreign countries. After looking at approximately 50 early motorcycles and reading most of the accompanying literature, Carol and I took an elevator to the 3rd floor of the museum, which in all honesty didn't have much to see, but we did see a plaque saying that the Harley Davidson collection totaled more than 450 motorcycles, and that no other motor-driven vehicle manufacturer has ever had the foresight to save at least one model vehicle from each model year. The founders began the collection in 1915 and actually went into the field to repurchase sold vehicles from dealers and riders that represented the first 12 years of the company's history. As part of the preservation process, each vehicle is completely disassembled. Each part, down to the last lock washer, is cleaned. Surface grime is carefully removed, being careful not to alter or remove any of the original decorative appliques. I am not by any means a motorcycle enthusiast, but to read that an American manufacturing company was so vested in preserving their history that they built this museum and have collected so many motorcycles makes me appreciate why there are so many loyal Harley Davidson motorcycle owners. Getting back to our tour of the Motorcycle Museum, Harley Davidson had their share of ups and downs over the years. The country experienced a mild depression in the early 1920s, which caused sales of the motorcycles to slip. But by the middle of the decade, more than 2,900 sheriffs and state patrol were using Harley Davidsons. Boots, breeches, and saddlebags gave motorcycle cops a Wild West image that thrilled young boys and captivated the public's interest. Walter recognized the allure of this motorcycle look and launched a campaign to sell Harley Davidson accessories and clothing. The ingenious marketing move helped the company survive the down days of the 1920s and created a booming market for Harley Davidson accessories that remains a major part of the company's success to this day. The stock market crash of 1929 sent motorcycle sales into a tailspin, but as always the company managed to survive. By the time that Arthur Davidson, the last original founder, died in 1950, Harley Davidson had become the undisputed king of the road. Over the next 4.5 decades, as a second generation of management rose through the corporate ranks to replace the company's founding fathers, Harley Davidson would experience a series of ups and downs resulting from poor image and mechanical problems, as well as intense competition from the Japanese. By 1969, Harley Davidson was on the verge of bankruptcy and sold out to AMF. Prior to the acquisition of Harley Davidson, AMF was primarily known for bowling balls and other sports-related equipment. While AMF's arrival did save Harley Davidson from likely bankruptcy, its expertise in manufacturing bowling equipment, bicycles, snow skis, and tennis rackets didn't translate into motorcycles. AMF's answer was to produce a lightweight motorcycle to compete with Honda, Yamaha, Triumph, and Kawasaki. They also began producing golf carts, snowmobiles, and boats. The AMF association with Harley-Davidson motorcycles ended in 1981 when AMF sold the company to a group of investors including Willie G. Davidson, the grandson of company founder William Davidson. The new owners of the company reinvigorated Harley-Davidson with a sense of rebirth and independence that hugely boosted company morale. Having had an opportunity to free itself from a large corporate owner, Harley-Davidson was back with a whole new philosophy and a quest for excellence. Our tour of the Harley-Davidson Museum was very enjoyable. This was an awesome collection of motorcycles. They even had a collection of customized Harleys. If you own a Harley, this museum should be on your bucket list. While we were at the museum, we saw a motorcycle on display that was made completely of Legos. It was life-sized and took 1,993 hours to design and build. It weighs 330 pounds and contains 69,569 Legos. Carol got so wrapped up in the hype of the motorcycles that she climbed on one and tried to convince me to sell our tow vehicle, buy a small trailer, and put motorcycles on it. Luckily, I was able to get her outside into the fresh air before she found a salesperson. We will be leaving Milwaukee tomorrow morning and heading north. If you like this video but have not yet subscribed, please do so to be notified of future videos, and as always, feel free to share with your friends. Thanks for watching.